Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with Convery, where we caffeinate your curiosity with bold stories, real conversations, and fresh perspectives on what it means to build a career and a life with purpose. Today's guest is someone who embodies reinvention, creativity, and the power of community. Jon Levesque, a global community builder, AI and automation evangelist, keynote speaker, YouTube creator, and founder of Seeq, the world's first experience network. Jon has built massive global communities at Microsoft and DocuSign, spoken on international stages, architect award-winning engagement programs, mentored over 130 MVPs, and has helped millions learn how to turn technology into possibility. And now he's building a platform designed to kill, save and forget discovery and turn curiosity into action. Jon's story is a masterclass in following your creative side, betting on yourself, and building communities that actually care. Jon, welcome to Coffee with Convery.
Thanks so much, Brian. Super happy to be here.
Me too. I'm excited. Maybe we could start with a few rapid fire questions and then we'll go right into your story. So, what is your superpower?
Oh man, it's funny. I am ADHD, and I often tell people that that is my superpower. When I am able to focus on something, I can focus more than anyone else can focus, and I can put the amount of work into something like 4 hours of work. Oftentimes, will be like 10 or 12 hours of work. For I think people whose brain works a little bit differently. So I always tell people I'm ADHD, and it is absolutely my superpower.
I believe in that too. I think it's awesome. Good for you.
Thanks.
Thinking about schooling, and I know we were getting started a little bit about high school and things like that, but did you have a favorite subject when you were t in high school?
I did, and I didn't enjoy high school at all. I didn't care about any of the subjects truly, but I did enjoy science because I really liked the teacher. I had a bit of a troubled high school time, and this teacher really tried with me, cared about me. And so that really made me actually care about his class way more. And so Mr. Nero, my science teacher in high school, shout out to him, made me care about science when most teachers couldn't make me care.
Yeah, there you go. Though that one teacher can really make a difference, right?
Totally.
Um, we all start somewhere. I started scrubbing pots and dishes back in the day as a teenager. What was your very first job?
Oh man, parking lot attendant at Lake Compounds theme park in Bristol, Connecticut. 105 degrees in the summer. There was me out in the parking lot with the orange vest and the things waving
Uh,
cars into park.
yeah, there
That was
you
it.
go. I guess you got a good tan now.
Oh, I had the sick tan. I had a sick tan. Farmer's tan though, right?
Oh yeah, 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 that's
Just
true.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just the t-shirt too.
Yeah.
If you had to describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
Passionate.
Passionate. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's rewind a bit. Let's go back to where it all started. You've done everything from IT support to global evangelism to founding your own company. Where did your passion for building storytelling and community first work really begin?
You know, I it's funny. I thought about this question a lot, and I think it actually started when I was about 16 years old, and I started creating video game guilds. Online gaming became very popular.
Yeah.
You could find people on the internet to hang out with and play games with. And I decided that one person wasn't enough. I needed a whole group of people. And so I started organizing. In those days, we called it a guild or a clan. Those were the things you called your
Yeah.
computer groups. And so, we form up this guild, get 15, 20 people together. Some of us are playing one game, some of us are playing another. I think nowadays people like understand this as Discord. There's a Discord server where you all hang out and game with each other. I was doing that in like AOL chat rooms, setting up people to meet at certain times so we could talk about games, and so it really started there with video games. And then I got involved in religion for a stint in life, and I I saw that I really enjoyed community building in
Yeah.
person with people, and started getting involved in things in the church to try and organize people.
Yeah.
Then left that and really looked for more secular things, and found clubs and groups, and decided to start a men's group a while back, and another group called the Help Experiment, where people could like list skills they had, and other people could like list needs they have, and they could meet up with each other and like offer those things. And so it
Very
became
cool.
this natural extension of myself, where eventually I got to work in it. Like I found myself on accident, honestly. I was working in tech, and found my way to community work when I found out, like, wait a second, people get paid for this? Like this is stuff I just love to do in my life. I can't, like, I couldn't believe that people got paid for it. And so that started everything. The discovery of understanding that I could do community for a living is what then shifted everything and pushed me that direction. But it definitely started with gaming when I was a teen.
Interesting. That's really interesting. And building that sense of community. And then from tech support to leading global communities, your early career included that service tech work, networking, engineering, and IT support. But how did those foundational hands-on experience shape the leader you became later, especially at Microsoft and DocuSign?
I think the cool part about doing tech for a lot of my early years, it gave me a foundation and understanding of the language, and how tech people thought. Right, developers and IT folks think differently than each other, and they definitely both think differently than like normal people who don't do tech, right? And so I think I had a bit of an advantage in that way, where I could talk the talk, right? I
Yeah.
understood what their problems were, I understood what their language was, I understood how they organized information. And so I think that gave me an edge in community later on, where I understood how this world worked. I might not have been the most deep at it, but I was able to bring my community skills and my tech skills together in a way that I had credibility. I wasn't someone just showing up as like a marketing guy doing community. I was the marketing guy, but I
Yeah.
also had chops in tech and could talk the talk and build the workflows and automation and all the other things that like could prove that I was one of them. And I think that was ultimately, honestly, the biggest thing. Like, if I talk about shaping myself as a leader, like what does that mean to me? Shape myself as a leader of a community. It's to be one of them, right? Like, it is
Yeah.
to be the representative of the community. It is to exist on this side of the fence with them, so that you can come back to the organization and share what you all together feel. And I truly believe that, like, that's the best way to lead a community, is to be one of them. And I
Yeah.
think that all of that experience along the way, and understanding the tech and being able to have credibility and all that, gave me that opportunity to be one of them.
Awesome. Awesome. So you've spoken on more than 25 global stages. I'm curious, especially for our audience, as I was telling you, we have people just kind of starting out in their career trying to figure out what they want to become and where they want to go. And some of that is finding your own voice. So, how did
Mm-hmm.
public storytelling become part of your identity? And like, could you maybe give some advice for some individuals that might be wanting to build that confidence in finding their own voice?
Yeah. How did it become part of my identity? I wanted it. Like,
Good.
I wanted it. I
Yeah.
wanted to speak on stage. And I think it started out very much, even in, if we're talking about Microsoft particularly, it started off very online, with me starting a YouTube channel, and Microsoft taking notice of the YouTube channel and wanting me to come and work for them. And that gave me
Oh, is
my
that how it happened?
opportunity. That's how it happened. Yeah,
You
I
got
started making
discovered through
automation
there.
content about you, about the tech, and I mean, I happened to know a few people there, and so I reached
Yeah.
out and showed stuff to people, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, let me get this in front of somebody." And like that, the boss of that organization was like, "John, like, we should talk." We talked. He offered me a job. The rest was history.
See, way
But yeah,
better
it
than the
was.
resume. Way better than the resume.
I
Show
do.
your
I tell
wares.
people, yeah, I tell young people this a lot. Like, there is a different path. And I think that sometimes if you want a job, I've often told people just start doing the job. Like you might not get paid for it right up front, right? You might do it for free for a little while. But if you just do that job, like and you become undeniable, there are different opportunity paths that become available to you, right?
Yeah.
And so that's not for everyone, right? That's a different possibility, but it was the one that worked for me. And so I think if I give advice to a young person on public speaking, or someone who wants, not even a young person, someone who just wants to get started,
Yeah.
the way that I did it is much different, I believe, than others. When I look at other speakers, they have a they apply for a conference or a talk, and then they create a new talk every time they go to an event.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. I did it differently. I did it like a comedian, where a comedian creates one set and they master that set. And they travel around and they deliver that set all over the place because it's a different audience every time. Nobody heard that set before because you're in a different town.
It's
And so
great.
I thought of speaking in this way. I didn't try and cover every topic. I just covered one topic really, really well. And I would change my talk every year. I did 4 years of public speaking. In my first year, I did 5 or 6 different talks. I chased the dragon. I did it wrong. That tired me out. It made me not feel good about it. And then I saw a comedy special from Dave Chappelle talking about I just go do my material in a shitty little club that no one cares about,
Yeah.
right? And so I decided, you know what? I'm gonna just go do my material at small events and like get my footing on it and see what worked and see what didn't. And so then that became the game. Small event, small event, small event, small event, bigger event, bigger event, bigger event, Microsoft Ignite, right? And like all year long, I would work myself up to this grand stage where I'd have 5,000 people in front of me. And so I think, the biggest piece of advice I could give is one is just like don't feel like you have to create new material every time. Work your material, perfect your material. Think of public speaking like a comedian. That's number one. And number two, um, when you're about to hit the stage, you're going to feel sick. There's an anxiety that happens no matter what, no matter to every public speaker. I've talked to a lot of them. And when we're backstage, we're all feeling the same thing. Like we want to throw up. And you might have to throw up. And that might help you if you do throw up. But I have found a trick. I learned that the chemical in the body that produces anxiety is the same chemical that produces excitement. And so, what I often try and do is in the moment when I'm feeling anxious, I will instead pump myself up like I'm getting excited. And I turn the tide of what I'm feeling because I'm now using my brain against itself, right? I'm using the chemicals that are flowing through me in a different way. And so I get pumped. Oh, this is going to be great, right? Rather than, oh my God, I got butterflies. No, no, no. Oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to kill this. They want to hear what I have to say. They came for me, right? And I will just work myself up and I'll be pacing backstage, just back and forth, back and forth. That's another thing for me. I kind of want to feel the space.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I think probably those two things, though, like anxiety can be excitement and work it like a comedian.
Amazing advice, and yeah, I can feel the energy around it. It's awesome. No, it's really awesome because I think you're right. Like it's you can really freak yourself out in your head, or you can flip that and turn it into an approach that actually works. So, yeah,
Totally.
that's incredible. So let's talk about you've helped scale Microsoft Power Platforms communities over 2.2 million members. You've built systems that have saved millions in support costs. What should professionals now be thinking about the future of AI, automation, and creating opportunities with technology rather than being somewhat intimidated by it? What are your thoughts
Yeah,
and insights around that?
man. Brian, I'll tell you right now, I could spend a
This is
lot
a
of time on
podcast
this
in
one.
itself, I think. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It really, really is.
Yeah.
It's a huge passionate area for me too, because I think that I'm building AI, right? I'm using AI to build, I'm building an AI solution. Seeq is AI powered. I talk to a lot of folks in the AI arena, and I think there's like a lot of opinions and a lot of
Yeah.
feelings of inevitability. And that bothers me so much, right? Because the future is not written. And so I think a lot of people believe that the future is dystopian, that AI will replace everyone, that humanoid robots will take over, that our only chance is to merge with the machines, right? That there is a huge, ugly future ahead of us. And
Yeah.
people are treating it like it's almost inevitable, right? Like,
Right.
oh, well, what are we supposed to do? This is just what's going to happen. Um, I don't believe that. I think that there are many of people like me who are trying very hard to use AI to enhance humanity rather than replace it. And so I think that first off,
Yeah.
there is an opportunity ahead to change what everyone feels of the future of AI. You could be the person who creates a human enhancement with AI that turns the tide. And so I think my first thing I want to say is none of this is inevitable. The future all of us imagine is not real yet, hasn't been lived. And so I think my first thing I want to say is like think of different futures. Like create a different possible future for yourself than what everyone else is talking about. I think personally the greatest use of AI is if I could arrive in any city on earth and my little assistant in my pocket tells me where I can find the greatest sandwich in that city. That to me is like the best use of AI. Not doing the artwork, right?
Right.
Not replacing my job, but
Right.
helping me experience more humanity, right? And so I think that
I love
like
that.
that's the first thing I want to say is like there are so many possibilities. The second thing I want to say is right now is the craziest time ever in technology. Like I have been in technology for 25 years and this is the most insane reinvention of the industry ever. Like it just is AI has made so much possible. I mean, like just for instance, to give you a perfect example, yesterday, no, I'm sorry, the day before yesterday, my team and I decided we should start a newsletter to go along with the product. I started a podcast. Newsletters are popping off right now. I should start a newsletter. Well, in less than 24 hours, myself and Claude Code, the AI Claude,
Yeah.
Anthropic, developed an entirely automated newsletter system where I have a set of three agents. One agent goes and scrapes the web and grabs news stories. One agent is an editor who then goes through all those stories and creates the proposed stories for the issue. The third agent grabs all those proposed stories and creates a rough draft of a dialogue with all the links for me. It then sends it into Google Docs where I, the human, go through, review, create, edit, fix, whatever, translate over to Beehive, where it then gets sent out. I took a 15-hour process of collection and collation and editing and all these things. And now we'll spend 60 minutes editing the final version, transferring it over to my newsletter platform, and then servicing my customers with this information, right? One day. I didn't concept it. I built all the workflows. It's live. It literally goes live Monday morning, the
Wow.
first issue. It's right. And like, so the tools I'm building, I built an AI using AI. I built an AI that can consume video content and turn it into JSON, which then I can visualize in some way. So, what am I doing with it? I am consuming travel videos and turning those into shoppable itineraries. So, any travel video you watch, you no longer have to do the research of like, well, how do I do this? And where do I go to get here? And how do I get to this place? The AI literally does it all for you, and you just hit book it, book it, book it, book it, book it, right? And so, to
That's
come back to the
incredible.
main point, there is there is so much possibility for creation right now.
Yeah.
Anything you imagine, you can make real in a short amount of time. And so, what does the future look like, and what should you, as a person new in your career or changing your career or trying to get into AI, think of? Distribution. Anyone right now can create anything. The moat is, can I get it to other people? And so a lot of the focus in the past of computer science and all these things is building the thing. My encouragement to you all is focus less on building the thing, because the AI tools are going to get better and better and better at building the thing for you. And start right now learning distribution. How do I do social media? How do I do marketing? How do I do email campaigns? How do I do cold calls? How do I do cold emails? All of the various distribution channels of getting your product out have now become the most important angle, because anyone can create almost anything. And so when you're thinking about these tools, don't think so much about how you get it done. Think about how you get it in the hands of people.
Yeah, the end game. That's really an interesting perspective. I have another question on this because it's come up recently in conversations also in the workplace. And, I have people who are struggling with what they say is the ethical use of AI. And, if I use it, it'll look like a machine said it. I didn't have the chance to say it as a researcher or a marketing person. What do you say to those people?
I say that they misunderstand. I think
Okay.
that, again, it should AI should not replace you, okay?
Yeah.
And if you're simply putting in a query and copying and pasting, you're replacing yourself. There's no need for you. Anybody can put that query in the machine and paste it.
That's right.
Synthesization, right? Taking the
Yes.
information, synthesizing it, putting a story to it, explaining why it matters, giving the context to the situation that an AI will never be able to understand or communicate. That is your human value in the loop, right? And so, I mean, ethical. Like, is it unethical to replace yourself with a machine talking for you? I don't know if it's unethical, but it sure is like lame. Nobody
Yeah.
wants you to hear your straight AI slop from the AI, right?
No.
But using it to do a first draft, which you then take intention and edit, I don't think there's any moral dilemma here. I think it's like me using Google search like on steroids, right? Like
Yeah.
if we think about how Google could bring information to our hands that we then could use our human abilities to collate, synthesize, write about, storytell, etc. AI is just doing that to an nth degree. The
Yeah.
information it's bringing us is vastly superior, right? And it is still our responsibility to use it right, right? To not replace
I love
ourselves.
that.
And so I would challenge that person back and say, well, let's talk about how you're doing it. You put in this prompt, you took this info and you pasted it. That was probably not right. What I would have done is I would have taken that info out, I would have brought it into Word, I would have edited some things. I might have brought it back to the AI to say, "Hey, I made some edits. Do you think you could expand on this?" Or, "Hey, I added a few extra context points that we need to
Yeah.
include." And I would work through something that I then felt good about. This idea that I have to just take what it gives me and use it, like where'd that come from, right? Like,
Yeah.
work with it.
Yeah.
And I think that, the other thing I would say to those people is, um I have spent enough time now with my Claude that I would challenge to say that most people would not be able to tell the difference between my writing and its. Because I have trained it so well on my voice tone, because it helps me so often in creation, it
Yeah.
understands my tone really well. Now that's dangerous, right? Because, hey, wait, what did I just say? That AI might replace me, right? It can write just like me now if I want it to. But the difference is I never let it. I
Right.
never let it just write for me, right? And no one should. No one should let it just do the thing for them.
Yeah. No, thank you for going super deeper on this one because I think that's the big dilemma between the people who are embracing it and the people who are like completely like no way. And
Yep.
so this is really great advice. I want to talk about Seek. Uh, just tell our audience here, like what is Seek? How did it come about? Let's go from there.
Yes. So Seek is my baby. It's the thing I go to bed thinking about and wake up thinking about. It's what I spend most of my time on. And Seek is a startup that is focused on helping people bridge intent and action. And so 73% of all people report that when they're taking a trip, they end the decision-making process on where they're going to go on social media. Okay, 73% of all travel and experience decisions are happening through social. I decide I want to go to Italy. What do? Hit TikTok, start scrolling. Italy, right? Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, look at this sandwich shop. Oh, look at that scooter tour. Oh man, that trip looks sick. That she did a sick trip, right? And then though, the problem is today, what do? I just save that. It just save it and it sits in my save folder. And then when I want to use it, I have to remember I saved it, pull it back to memory, get a pad and paper, write down all the locations, go to Google, open 37 tabs, start booking flights, start booking hotels, start looking for those tours, start looking for those trips, right? Spend 20 hours researching a 40-hour trip, right? And at the end of the day, the creator made nothing. The consumer had a super frustrating experience, which they likely quit because, like, I can't remember the exact percentage, but it was something like beyond that 73% of decisions, about 5% of those decisions actually convert in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And because of all the work that has to be done. And so Seeq allows you to take any video you see on social media and go and drop the link into our AI, and you get back an itinerary of exactly what went on in that video, where to go, how to get there, how to book it.
Wow.
And here's the coolest part. I don't believe in stealing from people. I think that my biggest part of this is my wife is a creator. I'm a creator. I saw how difficult it was for creators to get value out of what they were creating. And what did we just say? 73% of all decisions on travel stop on social. The economic value of that, right? The economic value, the unrealized economic value of that is outrageous. Right now, Instagram, Meta as a whole, obviously, TikTok, Yelp, Google Local, all these platforms are sucking up all of that value while the creator gets nothing. They're doing the whole job of promoting the trip, of getting you excited, of raising your intention, but then they're able to get none of the capital. And so this is what Seeq does. When you go and drop that link and book that trip, I then, even if the creator is not on my platform, I just hold the money in escrow and I send them a DM saying, hey, Brian just booked your trip on my platform. There's $137 waiting for you in commissions. You should come and grab that, right? And so we split the money 50-50 with that creator. Now, when they come sign up with us and they join our pro plan, we give them 70% of the income and we keep 30%. And so if they decide that they want to get serious and start promoting their own adventures, similar to like what a Patreon would be, I can host my own adventures. I can sell them. I can promote them across all my other channels. I can create membership and followers and all this. And then the creator can come and engage and start doing it on their side. And so we have a two-sided marketplace where creators are creating all this value and consumers are now able to come and harness that value. And the coolest part is that value gets transferred rightfully. The platform doesn't suck it all up. And so for us, it was really important, this creator ethos, this creator first mentality. They deserve more. And so what we have done is attempted to create mechanisms to vacuum some of that back out of the platforms and give it to the people. And so we do that in like three ways. There's three major parts to Seeq. First is the AI toolkit. You drop a video, you get back what we call a sequence, which is a fully detailed itinerary. Two, we have 60 plus affiliate partnerships, which we just grandfather you into. We went and did all the hard work, right? We went and made partnerships with Expedia, Booking, Hertz, Rentals, Get Your Guide, VRBO, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is a huge benefit to creators because you, a creator of any size, whether you have 500 followers or 5 million, you get to use the same affiliates. And what's really interesting about that is most people can't qualify for these affiliate programs. They don't have enough followers. They don't have enough views. And so a small creator has this massive gap to overcome to even be able to qualify to make money for these programs. And so we've gone ahead and just removed that whole barrier to entry. Whether you have 1 follower or 100 million, you can come and work on our platform and get access to our affiliate programs just the same. And then the third piece, and I think that this is one of the most important to creators, is we don't gate the contact information. When a customer comes and books your trip, they are your customer, the same as they are our customer. And we share with you their first name, last name, and email address so that now you can go ahead as a traveler, as a travel creator, and start building a business. You can start contacting that person outside of the Seeq platform. That is part of the value of what you get by being a creator, a paid
Wow.
creator on our platform. And so it's contact, it's access to these programs, and it's an AI toolkit. And so that's what Seeq is.
Wow. Man, that blows my mind just to think about it. It's so cool to wrap your head around that. And congratulations. Like, that's such a cool,
Thank you.
and
Thank
it's
you.
the whole ecosystem's benefiting from each other, benefiting from the experience. I
Yeah.
love that. That's really cool.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I
Um,
think we're like trying to kill the directory. This idea that you have
yeah,
to go and search a list of sponsored listings that give you no satisfaction. And
yeah,
I think that
yeah,
like for me, that's the biggest thing I want to tackle is when someone goes to Yelp or when someone goes to Google and they search pizza near me, there's no incentive for those systems to give you the best pizza place. The incentive for those systems is to make you scroll past as many sponsored listings as possible
that's
so
right.
the platform gets paid the most money. And so by design, confusion is built in.
You're right about
Satisfaction is
that.
not the goal. And
Yeah,
so that's the biggest thing I think for us is I see a video that satisfies my intent, I go, right? And so I think for me when I think about the consumer, the biggest thing I'm trying to give them here is this ability to escape this idea that more options are better. They're not.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, you're kind of going up against that paid subscription and the algorithms that we get fed. And you often hear people saying, like, all the time, like, hey, I'm coming to Toronto, but I don't want to do the tourist thing. What can I do there? Right? That's
Exactly. That's
none
what
of us
Seek
want to
was
do the
built
tourist
for.
thing. I love that.
100% what Seek was built for.
I love
Yes.
that. I think at my friend's restaurant here, that is amazing that they should jump into this opportunity as well because they are that experience that I always like. You don't want to go to the,
Yeah.
trend, the typical place, head to this place, right?
Love that. Love that.
That's so
Yeah, you should
cool.
connect us.
I will do that. I will do that.
Cool.
Um, the other thing, so thinking about what you've done and what you've built, which is tremendous. I know people are probably listening to this podcast and listening to your energy and what you've done and the where you're headed with this thing, but most people feel overwhelmed by where to start.
Mm.
Any thoughts around people doubting themselves or we all go through that, but um when we have a new idea or we want to get going, how do you break into this sort of content creation sort of idea with tech, and any thoughts of maybe where people should start that feel overwhelmed?
Yeah, I mean, I think I often use an analogy for this situation and I think it's actually less important about choosing the right thing and it's
Mm,
more important to just start. And I know that that sounds counterintuitive, right? Like, well, what do I start on? Anything. Anything. And why that is because inertia, right? Like forward momentum creates forward momentum. And if you are moving, it is much easier to find the pivot. And so, like, think of a boat. When a boat is at harbor, docked, anchored, it's really hard to like turn that boat's direction. Why? Because it has no forward motion. And so to pivot it takes a really long time, right? But a boat in motion, in forward motion, can turn really quickly. And it is about the forward motion. And so, what I often tell people is don't paralyze yourself on what, and
mm,
instead focus on doing something. Because as soon as you start doing something, you will find the next thing. And at least for me, it has always been about finding the next thing on the way and never like it never comes to me in a moment of panic or deep thought of what I should do next. Instead, I found a passion, started acting, and along that journey was introduced to the things that I needed, right? And so that's a bit like woo woo, I guess. It's not so concrete, but the thing
Yeah,
I can say, the concrete part is just start
yeah,
anything. Like if your heart says you want to build a podcast, build the podcast. If it says you want to build a newsletter, build a newsletter. If it says you want to start a YouTube channel, start the YouTube channel. If your brain tells you that you don't have a good enough camera, fuck that. Forget that. Use your iPhone.
that's okay.
Um,
Yeah,
if your brain tells you that your audio quality isn't good enough, it's probably right. Buy a mic. But outside of that, just use what you have and just start.
yeah,
It,
that's great
it's the
advice.
best
It's
advice I can
awesome.
give.
Yeah, no, it's awesome because we get stuck in our own, I used to say stuck in our own underwear, but like that idea of being stuck, like you just can't break
Yeah,
out of it, right?
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, I am like I could talk to you for hours. This has been such a cool conversation. Um, we're getting to the end and I'm thinking about one, and I there's so many takeaways from this conversation. I don't know if there could be a one big takeaway, but if you were to think about what you'd like to leave with our listeners about maybe that career with purpose, creativity, whatever you're in your mindset right now, what would you tell the audience that's been listening to this, or anything you'd leave them with as a parting thought?
Man, I think I want to say a couple things. One,
Yeah, go
um,
for it.
don't be afraid. Definitely just start. I think that that's an important one. So many of us feel like, oh, there's so many people who did it before, or my voice isn't as good as theirs, or oh my gosh, look at what like how poorly I'm doing in comparison to this amazing other person. And I think a lot of people make the mistake of comparing their start to someone else's middle. And that's a famous John Acuff line. He's an author I love. He wrote the book Start. He has a whole thing on just start. And he has this whole thing about that. And so I think that that's an important thing. Don't compare your start to someone else's middle. Instead, just start the thing. And secondarily, I think the thing I want to say is focus on distribution. With AI,
Yeah,
you can create anything. Get involved in AI for sure. Create some cool thing that is in your heart or head, and then figure out how you get it in the hands of people. Distribution for the next 3 to 5 years. That's going to be where the money is, not in creation any longer. And so if you're looking at a career shift or getting into something, distribution is where you're going to find the money.
great advice. Great advice. Jon, thank you so much for sharing your journey, your story, and your career journey. Really shows us that careers aren't linear. They're built through experimentation, curious, and the courage to really say, why not me? So I just really want to thank you for being a part of Coffee with Convery and really for your energy and for all the advice and thoughts you shared. It was an amazing conversation today.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to be here. I hope the audience enjoys it.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. You're going to get some fans, I'm sure, reaching out. So look out. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, you can catch more of our episodes and inspiring stories at coffeewithconvery.com. You can also follow us on Instagram for behind the scenes content and updates. Until next time, remember that success isn't always about climbing the corporate ladder. Sometimes it's about building your own jungle gym.